Welcome back to Titan, part 33. So last time I did a load of work on the gas annex and did an extension upstairs. Definitely starting to come together. However, the key problem I ran into last time was I needed to make invar in order to make digital valves. And I ran out of nitrice. So I'm going to have to go and remedy that early on. Before I go off to do that, I just want to check how things are looking in here. It's kind of starting to come together. We are going to have to come up with a solution to capture nitrous at some point. I might put a top deck up there and do that. Actually, that would be a good place for it. Nitrous is the only thing that should be liquefying at all. But I would hope that by the time we get this up to room temperature, it will be gaseous. We'll see. Anyway, right, so for now, first job, go get nitrice. Well, first job is go top up food and water before going to get nitrice. At least this place isn't groaning all the time though, so that's a nice start, isn't it? Right, let's go. Plenty more to do in there, but we do really need to be able to make some digital valves. I do need to repipe all of the cryo tanks, separate them out. Or what I do want to do actually before I forget is turn off the intake valve for those, because they should be fully done by now. Oh, hang on, wait, did I not connect that? Oh no, I did connect it. Oh, I have already turned it off. Okay, that's fine. So let's just check the state of these. These should be, yeah, basically 99%. We're not going to get clearly much more pressure than that at that temperature, but fair enough. Alright, that can go off. I'm expecting to see the all of the volatiles liquefy, which they're doing, and just escape out through the drain. Yeah, there's clearly a maximum pressure I can achieve before the nitrogen also liquefies in this cold. Fine. Okay, let's go get on with it. So let's just clear the decks a bit, ready to go out and do some mining. I did ponder with the idea of building a small auto miner which will recover ice, but having done a couple of experiments, the investment is significant for not hugely good yield. I was kind of hoping I'd found a niche for it, because it seems a shame otherwise, but more fundamentally, the problem is I need invar to make one, and I need it to make invar, so it's a bit of a circular problem. So we'll go see what we can get in terms of nitrice manually first. I did think there were potatoes in there, but always worth looking. Let's throw that in there. How's the mining drill? 44%. Right, you can have some more charge while we go get some food. Clearly I've harvested all the ones at this end. Oh dear, it's complaining about the lack of CO2 as well. There we go. Hopefully that will solve that problem at least. I think we should probably gather any available seeds. Just in case, whilst I am away, I lose the crop. I don't think there'll be many, because this was mostly planted at the same time, and I think I've harvested most of them. Oh, that's more than I expected. Right, come on, let's get this done quickly. I don't want to spend the entire episode harvesting potato seeds. That's not really the point. Just check the soybean seeds. Right, and actually, oops, that was not what I meant to plant there. Never mind, too late now. Right, okay, that'll do for now. Still need to remember to make a food processor at some point, and then we could make fries, which would be better food than jacket potatoes. However, for now, that will do. You can get in there. That can swap back there. That can swap with there. Okay, I think we're all fairly much fed and watered. I shall dump anything I don't need. Let's leave the laptop at home, just in case. Right. That will do. I think that should be enough slots. I'm not planning to do massive mining. Oh, I've just thought of what I should have got while I was in there though. If I've still got some mining charges. I reckon that would be a bit more fun. Let's give it a go. I'm prepared to go back inside for that. We find I haven't got any now anyway, but don't remember using them, but this is episode 33, so, you know, I may have used them at some point over the previous 30-something hours. Haha. I'm just going to take one set for now. I don't know how effective they'll be, but I feel like it'll be fun. And that's the point. Potentially, as well as being fun, it might, I don't know whether it would be a more or less safe way of not getting sucked into a hole in the ground, but it might be a safer way. So I obviously need to move some distance from the base. I reckon if I can find a location that looks like it's got some reasonable deposits where I haven't previously mined, so that's a bit close to where there's a great big hole. And I've clearly already been there. What's that though? Oh, it's pollutant. It's not that exciting. So see what we can see over here. This looks kind of hopeful. Banking on it's being cold enough that the resultant ices won't just melt straight away. This looks hopeful. Got our mishmash of different things. Let's this nitrice is really what I need. And retire to a safe distance. I'm not quite sure how safe distance we need to be on Titan with low gravity and thick atmosphere. It could be interesting. What have we created? I should approach carefully because, oh, I'm getting sucked in from here. Looks like quite a lot at the bottom of the hole, but at this stage I daren't get too close. Right, slowly balancing off. Yeah, okay, so I've definitely got something down there. But I'm going to wait until that stops doing that before I attempt to go recover any of it. Let's drop another one over somewhere else. Maybe over here? Don't know. Yeah. Probably lose that hole if I'm not careful, so let's... Right, have we stopped? Looks like it. Looks like the gas is no longer being sucked in. Right, what have we got here? Okay, well... a bit more volatiles than I probably needed. That coal will not have been degassed though, so that's useful. Yeah, not a whole lot of nitrice though, was there? Okay, let's go and try and find a better nitrice deposit. Oh, it's getting dark now. It's getting dark and I cannot see the way back to the base. I think it's over there. Yes, it is. Okay, so for future reference, it's about 180-ish degrees roughly, as long as I keep going roughly this direction. Right, there's some sort of cluster of stuff on the horizon here. What I want is a nice big surface nitrice deposit which goes all the way down. It's not as good as I was hoping. Mind you, there's 3 close proximity. Well, maybe. I appear to want to poop the mining charges out, because instead of coming out of my hand where I expected, it seemed to come out of my backside. Oh well. Careful, careful, careful. Whoa! Yeah, atmosphere suddenly kicked in then. Can hear the wind. Let it rebalance. Still blowing around in there, isn't it? Okay, hopefully that's an indication it's sort of bottomed out. Again, a lot of volatiles, not so much nitrice. Okay, this might not be the best way of doing this mining, let's be honest. Okay, well... I feel like if I could find a good vein, this would work quite well, but... Okay, well, we've got 1 charge left, so I guess use it with care. Right, oh, there's some water there though, that's... Well, that's useful to grab anyway. As long as I can do it without killing myself. Not very much water. Oh, there's a bit more there. Oh dear, that's not good, is it? That's the problem with the wireless batteries, they don't hold a whole lot of charge. I'm going to run out of charge in the drill soon. I shall have to use whatever else has got any power in it. Yeah, the water's useful. Certainly not going to complain, but on the other hand, I really need nitrice. Oh, look at that. Sucking in a cloud. Right, I think I'd better figure out which way roughly home is. And kind of move in that general direction. Because I think stupidly I forgot to bring the tracker cartridge with me. Okay, hopefully this is the right direction. I think so. I think I see the beginnings of the base in front of me. Definitely looks like I've been through here before. Yep, there's the little lander and bits of the base. Okay, good. Right. Not going to get lost in the fog and die today unless I get lost in the fog between now and getting home. Let's see if I can find another nitrice deposit somewhere and blow that up with my last mining charge. One, that doesn't look hugely hopeful, does it? I want a whole bunch of it all together. Please. That one, maybe. Maybe. No. You know what I said about not getting lost? Oh no, it's over there. Okay. Surely, somewhere around here there's a good patch of nitrice. This is crazy. Don't really want to blow things up too close to home. Feel like that would be silly. Maybe I might choose. Go try over here. No, that's oh. Alright, well there's two there. I was hoping for a bit higher density than that, but I suppose I've got to take what I can get. Let's get out of the way. That doesn't look very good at all. That looks like basically a waste of a charge, and I'm about to get sucked into the hole as well. Just add insult to injury. Alright, I'll let that settle a little bit, and then I'll go and see if there's anything at the bottom. I think that was actually basically a wasted shot. I think there's just that one piece there. Wow, that was really worth it, wasn't it? 6 nitrice. Whoa, no likey, no likey, no likey. Okay, there's clearly a vein here, but I don't know if I can get it without killing myself at this point. Okay, that's maybe not. Is that all there is? That was a bit pathetic, I have to say. I was really hoping that this was going to be a massive haul of nitrice to keep me going for a while. but actually overall disappointing. Right, now I think if I remember correctly, the base is along this ridge. Yes, there it is. Ugh. Some strange artifacting going on there. Oh well. Right, well, not quite what I'd hoped for, but, you know, at least we've got some. Let's go back and try and make some stuff. Guess I've got some more water as well, so that's not unhelpful. Plus, I have some non-degassed coal, which at some point I'm going to seal this place up, and I will not be able to do this, but between now and then, this is an excellent way. There we go. Get a bit more CO2. Sadly, I think it's a one-shot deal, but, you know, yeah, there we go. Alright, well, a little bit more. Throw that in there. Right, so that can go in there and be out of the way. Just going to see if I can get the temperature up to make some invar now. So, we turned off here. We turned off. We are turned off. Okay, good. Right. Let's start with 15 of them, which I probably shouldn't have done in that order because now I've got to spam this, but there we go. Oh, okay, there must have been a little bit of volatiles left in there, I think. Oh yeah, there was. Okay, good. Well, that was surprisingly easy. Good. Well, what to do now, I suppose. Let's chuck one of these additional stacks in there. Get some more hot volatiles. Maybe if I can just chuck in 5 more, that'll be enough just to give that a bit more of a... just want it hotter than it was. Nice, and let's throw that one in. And as long as that doesn't bring the temperature down too low. Yeah, I would have liked it a bit hotter. Alright, well, we'll have to throw more in, won't we? Just try and get the good high temperature out of that, and then I shall, once it's burnt the nitrous off, I will evacuate that and we'll have a good stock, like 700 moles of unburnt volatiles at 900 odd degrees there, so that will be nice to have. Almost there. That'll do, otherwise we're going to get too cold. I need to hotbox this one at some point. But for now, hopefully that is enough.
Power low.
Alright, so we've now got 200 invar, which means I can make digital valves. So as soon as this has reached a sensible level, I will shut it down. Just leave that running on a 10 now, just drain out the last bit. Right, good. Okay, so let's put that invar through here. Let's close that before we have an accident. And we're going to throw that in there, and we are going to digital valve. Oh, we need steel as well. That's okay, we have plenty of steel. Wrong corner. Steel's over here. You go in there. Right, now I think I need a hot and a cold for the atmospherics and the greenhouse, and I also need a hot for the heat transfer, so that's at least 5. And I also need at least 1 for cooling the waste, so that's 6. He said setting it to 5. Right, there we go. Off you go. Go make that. Got enough of everything for 5. Yeah, 6 rather. Yes. Lovely. Good. Okay. Now, we're also going to need, this is always the way, an IC and a housing. Right, so we'll make the housing, and then I'm also going to want some logic mirrors. And once this is finished, right, so we're going to need the IC, we're going to need logic mirrors, we're going to need pipe analyzers. I'm going to need at least 4. I don't know how many of those I'm going to need. I'll make 2 manually for now, and then that will probably be enough to at least get started. Oh, and we're just about out of pocket space, but that's okay, because I think it's probably all we need for now. So I'm going to pop back through here. Switch that. Switch that, since whilst we're on the base, that is a more sensible way to do it. Right, and then we're going to come in here, and we are going to melt that. We are also going to, oops, I'm going to turn that on first, because I do not want that just melting on the floor in here. That will be really messy. Okay, so we've got 16 litres left in there. Almost. There we go. It goes quite quickly once it gets up to temperature. Right, and then the same again. Right, I might actually just let that go quickly because I really don't want it to melt all over the floor, and it will equalise with the room. Right, we'll give that a second just to drain out, which I think is now done. Now we've got 31 litres, so that's helpful. That puts off another problem anyway. For a little bit longer, which is that we will need some more water. Also create space in my pack. Okay. Yeah, there's not huge amounts of CO2 still, is there? But there we go. Can't pick up. And you pick up. Oh. But that could go into there, and then that could go over there. And then I'll grab those. Not sure I need those walls, but I'll take them anyway. Right, let's go. Probably should have had a little drink while I was in there, but there we go. Hoping not to make this a mammothly long episode anyway, so let's see how we get on. Right, let's see how we're looking in here. Okay, so the first one of these, we'll just use that one there. Be easier to turn it that way round. Drop that onto there. Right, so that is going to be used when that side is hotter. So, right, oh, did I not pick up? No, I did not pick up the rest of the pipe analyzers. Brilliant. Or it only printed one. Okay, well, this is going to be a short trip before I have to go back and do it again. Digital valve. Oh, okay, fine. Digital valve. Hot loop. Pipe analyzer. No, not hoop loop. Hot loop. Okay.
Hydration critical.
I might put that there. I think I'm going to end up connecting it to the network inside here. I don't think it needs to be networked broader than that. Although I do need to think about whether I want those tanks networked onto the data network or onto the local network. I guess I'll put them onto the local network and connect up to data later if I need to. It's probably the sensible plan. He said picking up the wrong colour cable. Yeah, that's probably the easiest solution for now. Where are we going to run this? Where have we got cable down here? We're certainly going to want to run one across there. Okay. And I'm going to want a valve in there. And that's annoying. I can't put that. Okay, well that's fine. I can make that work. I just need to remove the drain temporarily. Okay. Okay. That's that one. What's this one? Cooling. This is the waste loop. Hot waste. I should be clear on this. That is the hot waste cold loop. This makes a bit of a mouthful, but I want to know that it's connecting that hot to that blue cold. Otherwise, I will get confused when I start figuring out what I need to connect to where. Right, now I've got to get cable upstairs. I've got to get a bunch of stuff upstairs because it's more than just cable. Because I need to get piping up there and all sorts, but for now, let's go. Okay. Yeah, that'll work. It's not the most elegant solution, but I've definitely done worse cabling before. Okay, let's get upstairs. Really need to lay in some floor grates here, don't I? Whoops. Now, have I got space? Can I get that behind? No, I actually can't. I've put them too far back. That's actually a little bit annoying. Ah. Yeah, I've put them too far back, haven't I? And I cannot easily deconstruct them now, because they're both full of quite a lot of gas that I really don't want to waste. Okay, well, I'll have to do the I'm an idiot version of the cabling. Yeah, let's go there. Yeah, okay, this is definitely not my best work. Sorry, guys. Yeah, for many reasons. Okay, well, I mean, I guess at least I've got some cable where I probably need it. I'm going to split one. I'm going to chuck that on there. Just get that up to enough to be able to connect it. With one left. Okay, alright, well, which I'm going to need if I'm going to connect that. Now, that needs more than one there anyway. Amazing. I'll have to put it off centre then. Come on, don't be dumb. That one there, that goes there. There, and that goes there. Right, okay. Okay, this is the HX valves. Okay, so I need to go back and get the remaining pipe analyzers, and I need to get an absolute load of cable. Whoops, no. Error. Oh well. Went on autopilot there thinking, that's right, we've got an airlock. Should have left the other bits and pieces in there, shouldn't I, as well? Save some carrying space. Right. Cable. Off you go. Really not enough. Right, let's turn this on because this is annoying me. Smelt some copper if I've got some handy. Oh, actually, to be fair, I've got tons of copper anyway. I don't need to really smelt anymore, but we'll do it. Right, now, what happened to these? So we ran out of iron. Okay, well, that's actually an easy fix, but I'm annoyed I didn't spot it. Right, hopefully that's enough. Right. Wait, what? I thought I set... Oh no, four's fine. No, that's fine, that's all I need. Okay, right. I mean, the other thing I'm going to still need yet more of is insulated pipe, of course. Let's get that going. It's going to be just about as much as we've got steel for in there. Okay. So my plan, so I've got all of this, if it's enough to connect everything up, is I'm going to connect up so that we can detect if each of the tanks is in the wrong temperature and either actively cool or heat it, and also pick up heat, transfer that into the hot loop if the hot waste, the pink hot waste tank is hotter than the purple hot loop tank. Which we may as well start working on whilst I'm waiting for that to print, to be honest, so let's get on with it. So we're going to have a nice little loop, as we always do, and we're going to do a yield, and we're going to go a jump loop. Right, so we're going to have, right, let's alias these up. Just trying to think how many devices we're going to run off this, and actually just thinking, I think we're not going to have quite enough. So let's worry about the hot loop and the hot waste first, because those two are pretty important, and then we'll worry about the greenhouse next, and the atmospherics we might have to do separately. Hot pipe, go on D0, and hot valve, I've just realised that actually we're going to need 2 ICs for this. Go on D1, and we're going to need the hot tank, because we actually need to know whether or not the hot tank is hotter or colder. So that's that side, and then the other one will be the waste valve, which can go on to D3, and the waste tank, which can go on to D4. I think that's what we're going to have to do. So LR0, D0, temperature, R1, D2, temperature, R3, D3, temperature. What about the temperatures? Right, that should be D4. Right, okay. So let's load that into R2 for now. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to say if, simple logic on the hot waste, if R2 is greater than 30 degrees, so 303 Kelvin, then we're going to set that, and then we're going to save back to device 3, open. I think it's open, let's double check. Digital valve, where are you, digital valve? So we definitely need it on, but it's setting, it's not open. Okay. Setting R2. So if the hot waste is over 30 degrees, we are going to open up the valve that connects it to the cryo tanks, which should cool it. Otherwise we will close it. So that one's easy. Now, the other bit of logic we need is if the hot tank, whoops, so the hot tank is in R1, if R1 is greater than the hot pipe, and we're going to save that to D1, setting R1. So if the hot furnace waste is hotter than the hot loop, then we will open it and we'll transfer some heat. Otherwise we will not. And if the waste tank, the dark green one after the Stirling engine, is hotter than 30 degrees, we will open the cooling line. So that should control that. So this one will control hot loop, heat recovery, and hot waste cooling. It's going to do absolutely nothing for the two large tanks, but we've at least got that bit right. Let's see if I can manage to construct. We need another IC, and annoyingly we can't quite fit that. Whoops, fit that all on one chip. That's going to run out of copper. Luckily, is some we made earlier. That I'm going to need. I'm going to run out of space again. Okay, right, that can go in there. That will help. Okay, and we need the housing. Oh, I've left this on, haven't I? I think it's very quiet in here. I can just hear myself dying of whatever I'm dying of now. Oops. Thirst. Right, okay, come on, we're going to do this. I'm determined to keep this one under an hour, so 15 minutes to finish this. Print faster. I mean, I guess I could. No, I'm just going to get myself confused then, and then it'll waste more time while I try and figure it out. Let's go. Right, okay, that'll do. I may not have enough pipes, but at least if I can lay in the main logic, that will be helpful. Right. Now that should be alright. I can do this. I can do this. Yeah, let's put it in there. Right, that one is going in there. So heat exchange valves, waste. Heat exchange valves, main. Hopefully I'll remember the difference. Right, okay, let's try and write this code real quick. Edit that. Let's stick this on pause before I die. Right, okay, so again, let's have another loop. A loopy loop. Right, so on this one, we are going to connect the air tank to D0. I'm mostly doing these aliases just so I know what to connect the screws to. I'm sure you realised that. And we'll alias the greenhouse tank onto D3. What the hell, let's do it like this. And then we'll alias air cold valve to D1. Alias air hot valve to D2. Alias greenhouse cold valve or even valve to D4, and we'll alias the greenhouse hot valve to D5. Okay, so that's all we're going to have capacity for anyway. Right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to load R0, D0 temperature. And we're going to load, let's keep it simple, R3, D3 temperature. Okay, so we know the temperature of the two tanks. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to say, so if it's too hot, so SGT, we're going to set R1 if it's too hot. So if R1 if R0 is greater than, and let's go for 300 Kelvin, 27 degrees. It's a little bit warmer than we probably want, but it's about right. That's close enough, nice round number. So we'll do the same over here, R4, R3, 300. That'll be fine for the greenhouse. Right, then where do we want the bottom end? SLT, R2, R0. I think 290 should be fine. SLT, R5, R3, 290. We can obviously independently adjust that. If we want to make the greenhouse a bit hotter, it can take a bit of extra heat. If, for example, we wanted to change it so we're growing cocoa or something later, we can just adjust those values. That's one of the advantages of running these two separately. And then what we are going to do is we're going to save to the cold valve, D1, setting R1. This is the advantage of keeping all the registers and devices lined up, because to D2 we're going to save R2 to D4, save R4, and to D5, R5. Okay, that should be pretty simple. So if the temperature is too low, or too high rather, we will open D1, the cold valve, and vice versa the hot. We'll do that on each tank. So that's nice and simple. This is the main tank temp control. Okay, so let's do that. And let's export that and put that, whoops, I had it and I closed it because I'm an idiot, into there. Okay, now the question is, can I get all of this wired up in the next 10 minutes? Let's give it a go. Okay, that's those two. Now, how am I going to get, it's all very well, I know I needed to connect those two, but I need to get that down here so that we can, it's actually kind of annoying. I'm going to have to run it along here like this, run out of cable, won't I? That'll be the next problem. Okay, that's connected, that's connected. So all of the bits we need for this side are connected. Turn that on. Okay. That's connected and that's connected, so that's all good. Right, now for the bit where I'm going to have to do a little bit of messing about. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to make this work yet. So the first challenge is, where am I going to put... I've got one too few heat exchangers as well. Okay, that may not manage to be done in the next 10 minutes. The greenhouse is the most critical, so we'll rig it up over here first. Right, so we are going to have 2 heat exchangers. And I think, actually, thinking about this, if I do it that way round and I nudge them in there, I think that will work. And then the other one can go in there. Now I need a valve onto the cold side, and I don't know whether I can connect that straight onto a heat exchanger. No, I can't. So I'm going to grab that there. Okay, that's actually a little bit annoying. Right, hot valve is easy. Hot valve goes there. I mean, I suppose the way to do it is probably... oh, that's annoying, isn't it? Oh no, wait. This is probably the way to connect them. Thinking about minimum cabling requirements. I think that will work. Hang on a minute. What am I doing? Why is that? What have I done? Oh no, that's fine, because then we'll have one coming out of there. That's okay, right. Okay, so I don't actually want them right next to each other. I want them there, because otherwise there's not space for the cable. Right, that makes sense. No, don't fall off. Come on. Let's get it done. Right, there we go. And we'll grab that off there. That on there. And that one goes on there. Right, now for the complicated bit. Because that was easy, right? Okay, so we're going to need a hot side and a cold side. So I think I can do that with a 3 there. And I can do a 3 there. And let's grab this off here. Okay, and that's good. Right, and in fact...
Health critical.
Uh-oh, health critical. I'm going to have to go and deal with that, aren't I? That's actually really annoying. Okay. I've also run out of paint to be able to colour code this properly. Alright, well let's see if we can at least get this one up and running. Then we might end up having to park it there. Right, hot pipe. Okay. Hot valve. And hot tank. What is this thing called? It is in fact called hot gas main. And that one is the waste valve. Come on before you die. Should have gone the other way around the alphabet for this one. Yeah, definitely should. What the hell is it called? Small tank. Probably that one then. Probably just called small tank still. Yes, it is. Okay, well that one then can be made to work. Go. Oh, so that is not turning on and off. And that is not turning on and off. Okay. What have I done here? Alright, well I don't really have time to figure it out, do I? Don't quite understand why that's not... Maybe setting is not the correct way to do that. Anyway, right, let's go back and grab some water before I die. Okay, right, I think actually what I might do is, it's not very satisfactory, we made some progress, but I might stop here and go and research exactly how I need to set up those digital valves, because I'm not sure why they were not triggering. I don't want to make this into yet another 2-hour long episode, so perhaps I should do that. Right, managed to avoid dying, that's a good start. Okay, there we go. That's sorted those things out anyway. Right. No, okay, let's we can press on with this. Let's go do that. Right. Oops, nearly left my helmet open. Got everything. Yes. Right, I need another heat exchanger while I'm over here. Right, heat exchanger. Heat. Steel. Wrong way, steel's over here. We've nearly used that whole stack. That's crazy. I've got 200 left in there. Okay, I'm going to need some more soon. Anyway, for now, let's get that done. Need that purple paint. This invar away in here. Right. I needed pink paint as well. I remember. Good. Right, okay, let's go. Let's try and get this finished. Let's see what's going on with these valves. Should probably fix this up to an airlock soon. Airlock circuit board in there at some point. Right then. Okay, first things first, let's just fit this. Okay, and purple.
Health low.
Whoa. Oof. I have no right not to have fallen off then. Okay. I can fall through there. Guess we'll wire them that way. That's probably the least amount of cable. I'm going to fall. I'm going to fall. Okay, that's good. I should probably name these while I'm up here. Right, so that's the air side, so that's going to be digital valve, air hot. Air cold. Greenhouse cold. Greenhouse hot. Oh, I did have purple paint. It was over there. Anyway, never mind. Right. So going to attempt to colour code these. Right. Now, I've still got to actually connect the cables. Oh, actually, interestingly, I can't physically fall off there. Probably going to regret throwing that quite so hard at some point soon, but there we go. For now, that'll do. Right, I've got 9 cable left, so let's see what we can do here. Have we got... Oh, that's going outside, I think, isn't it? Okay. Okay, that's good. In that case, let's run that along there. Nice. Okay, right. That's all the cables connected to the valves. Now I need to work out what on earth is going on here. That should have been a purple, not a pink. I'm really going to regret throwing that so hard. What did I do with the purple? There's one up here. Snag that. Right. Okay, there we go. Nicely colour coded. That's the point. I am also going to need... Where am I going to need those? I don't need to put them on the air pipes. I've got them connected to the tanks. I didn't need that many pipe analyzers. Never mind. Right, okay. I'll put them down for now. Can go there. Don't yet need those either, although I'm pretty sure I'm going to need them quite soon. Right, let's go and try and get this stuff working. Right, so the air tank should be... I did label those, didn't I? Tank air. And the greenhouse can be tank greenhouse. Okay, cold valve. Air cold. And air hot. And greenhouse cold. And greenhouse hot. Okay, that all looks good. So what will be interesting, we'll just see whether that has actually done anything up here. No. Now, is that because, by luck, we've got exactly the right temperature? Oh, actually, we might have. Whoops. Yeah, those are actually in an okay temperature, so that doesn't really help me much. As is that. So at the moment, none of them should be turning on. Maybe that's right. That's at 671.9. And that hot gas is at 26. Why is that only at 26? That's insane. Okay, well, that might actually be correct. Right, okay, well, I suppose I need to figure out where to reconnect the outside pipes. This is where I'm really going to wish I had not thrown that under there. Oh no, I can just about get it. Very good. Did that wrong. Actually, we'll hang on to that. Right, okay, so now I need to just split those cryo tanks. And in an ideal world, I probably do want to connect them to some sort of data grid. That's actually going to... that's for cooling the waste. That's for cooling the room. Yeah, those should be on two separate circuits. Not circuits, because they're pipes. Having done all of that, I might actually move this somewhere else. It's kind of in the way here anyway. Where can I put it? Yes, because then I can connect that to a new outside line. Maybe I'll put it up in the roof there. Or not in the roof, but on the floor above. Maybe that is actually the best place for it. What else needs to go up here? We'll need some water processing. There's some space for that up that end. Yeah, perhaps I'll just do that then. Right, okay. Bit fiddly. But at least I can stand on here to do it. Right, so what I want to do is that way round. So that's going to be miles of piping to bring it up from there, isn't it? It's annoying. Because that now needs to go over there. So that goes there. That's waste cold. Confirm. And then right, let's make that one into a vertical. Where am I going to fit this to make it reasonably space efficient? Oh, come on, turn the way I want you to turn. That's it. Right, that might be the best way to do this. that's probably better. Oh, come on. Don't be silly. Cannot get that to hook in there. That's where I wanted it. No, that's the wrong way round. Didn't want it clipping through the wall to outside. I wanted it inside. That's where I wanted it. There. Okay, that's fine. And then that cable should go in, drop down there, and then that was right the first time. That can go there, there, there. Let's get that the right colour. Okay, and reset this. Digital valve. Digital valve waste cold. That's the one. Okay, good. Right. I mean, hopefully this will actually just empty shortly. Right, and then the last piece of the jigsaw, I think, is just to reconnect the pipes out here. Whoops. So I now want to split the cryo tanks into 3. I will connect these to the data network at some point. Whoa, fly around all over the place. Right, okay. So these are all now pressurized, so let's separate them from each other. That one there. Oh, come on. Seriously. Right, so that's cryotank 1, that's 3 there. That needs to connect to 3, which is up there. Right, I'm going to do this in individual segments because I think there's a fair bit of replumbing going to be needed. And I did that one the wrong way round, I think. Did I? Come on, and in there, and done. Amazing. Right. Okay, so now cryotank 3 is connected. Now we have got some condensation in there, that's the only thing. Let's just do that. Just let that bleed off. So cryotank 3 is connected to the waste cooling, 2 is connected to that cooling there, and 1 is available for us to use later when we run any sort of oxygen reduction. So now what is left is to figure out the piping inside. because we also want to reuse that line, because that's actually for all the heat exchangers, all the other heat exchangers. We want to use that line to come in here. So guess I'll have to run it like that. I'm going to run out of pipes, aren't I? That's really annoying. Oh, now I've got stuck. Also annoying. Go and run that along here. Yes, I have run out of pipes. I have indeed run out of pipes. Okay, this is starting to get ridiculous now. This was meant to be done, and it's not. Can I nick at least one from there? Yes. That means I can at least do that. Just want to check that's not too intrusive, because ultimately at some point we're going to close that ceiling up. I'll think about that. I might end up running it along above, but eventually that's got to connect there. So I still need a bunch more insulated pipes. And I'm dying of hunger again. So, right, we're going to go for one quick run on this and try and get that sorted. Yep, 20, that should do the job. Okay, so we'll get that going. Right, hopefully that will be enough, and then I think we are connected. I might make some floor grating so I don't keep falling through. That should be enough. Okay, let's grab those. Actually, let's just spray them blue now. Grab that. Right. What am I doing with this floor grating? Oh, still need loads. Alright, I'll take a stack. Not even sure how many I'll need, but that'll be enough to get started. Right, let's go and see if we can connect this. I think there's still some work to do in that annex anyway to install what we need for water processing, which it's not happening this episode. And also we need to move a transformer in here and run the main power bus, which is also not happening this episode. So I'm not going to worry too much about whether I've got enough floor. I just want to stop falling through the gap and know that we have the basics set up correctly. So we'll do that. I just have a feeling I might be doing a bit of mucking about with these. Maybe not. Maybe it's going to work. Now, how am I going to get that from there to there when it's behind there and there's a cable there? going to do that, and then I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to do that, and I'm going to find that, yeah, that's coming out, and that's becoming a corner, and then we're going to go there, and there. Okay, it's a little bit claustrophobic for my taste, but if it works, it works. Let's lay this flooring. So actually to do that I'm going to need to chop these out. Come on. Right, okay, let's get these in before I fall off again. Okay, yeah, definitely going to need some more, but as a general principle, that is not too bad. Okay, that's better. More strays left up here? No, I don't think so. Okay, so you can start to see the general idea of what's going on down there anyway. Tidy up a bit. And, okay. There we are. Is that everything? Yep, looks like it. Okay, I think that is a sensible place to stop, because I think otherwise I'm just going to be fiddling around with details forever. And just do that. More neatness. Temperature pressure rather is actually a bit high in here now, but that's okay. Right, okay, so we've still got all of this run here. Yeah, it feels a little bit claustrophobic, but it's not terrible. And we've now got some sensible temperature brackets in place around these. They don't need it at the moment, but these things should kick on or off as required to heat and cool. So I guess we'll do a proper test maybe next time with a furnace burn, but I think that's probably as far as we need to get for today. I'm slightly concerned that that doesn't appear to want to turn itself off again, and I'm not sure whether setting or power is what we need, so I might investigate that for next time. Anyway, for now, that is all we've got time for. That is longer than I wanted, so apologies again, I've overrun, but hopefully you enjoyed it. We now have, hopefully, thermal stability, so that's a major step forward. So, anyway, that's it for now, as I say, so hope to see you on the next episode. Bye for now.